Hi everyone, you reach Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick video on Wendy Williams. So Debmar Mercury did an article with the Hollywood Reporter, and their article is titled Inside the Final Days of the Wendy Williams Show. Now listen, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is for fact, the reason why they did it, but in my opinion, I think they did this article to kind of dispel the rumors that they didn't care about Wendy, that they pushed her out, and that they did her dirty on her final year on the show and for the actual final show. Right? So they get their side of the story. And a lot of people kind of they wanted to remain anonymous for this particular article. I think that they wanted to remain anonymous for many reasons. They don't want, now with social media, it's so easy once you get a name, type in the person's name and find out all their social media accounts and then kind of DM them or come at them in their particular accounts. So I'm sure that these people was like, listen, I'll tell my story, but I don't want nobody coming after me. I don't want anybody asking me more questions about what went on behind the scenes at the Wendy Williams show. So as they was gearing up for the 13th season, they was gearing up with every intention that Wendy Williams was going to be in that purple seat. Okay, so much so that they had a cute thing that they was doing for one of the promotional videos. So they built this major faux elevator because 13 is known as the unlucky number. People always say unlucky 13, and a lot of elevators, if you go to a building that they have more than 13 floors, maybe they got 15 or 20 floors, a lot of elevators, they don't have the number 13 in the elevator as a button to push. It goes from 12 to 14 on the button, so to speak, because just so people won't have this fear of, I don't want to go to the 13th floor, or I don't want to live on the 13th floor. A lot of people in companies and buildings started doing that. So anyway, to dispel the myth, one of their promotional videos was going to be this faux elevator where it actually had the number 13 on it, and Wendy Williams was going to be seen getting on the elevator, pressing the number 13, going to the 13th floor, and the elevator's opening to her studio to show that, listen, 13 is not an unlucky number. I'm here to prove it. This is my 13th season. Well, unfortunately, the opposite happened. It seems like 13 did prove to be unlucky for Wendy Williams because she did not step foot on that elevator. She did not step foot on that stage or sit in that iconic purple chair for her 13th season. So, as before they started the 13th season and they was on their hiatus for the summer break, just like many of Wendy Williams fans, her staffers was seeing in the press the same things we were seeing, right? What we were seeing was an alleged decline of Wendy Williams' health. There was one picture and story that they did where they was showing her being wheeled out from her apartment in a wheelchair, going to the hospital for whatever reason. There was another article that said she pretty much had a psychotic breakdown and was put in the hospital on the psychotic ward. Okay, so they were seeing this and they was concerned because it took 100 people to run the Wendy Williams show. Anywhere from the cameraman to the producers and executive producers to the people that run the lighting. So it took 100 people to kind of run this show. So they were worried and concerned, which any of us would be, right? And do we have a job? Come September, is Wendy Williams going to be able to sit in that iconic chair? Because we're seeing in the press here that they're saying that she's not well. And so the producers in some way, shape, or form didn't have high level details about Wendy's condition, right? They was getting to from her people that, oh, she's just sick, she'll be ready in 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks turned into 4, and then 4 turned into months. And then, we already know what happened, right? They had to get a whole bunch of guest hosts to do the 13th season. So when the staffers brought this concern to the executive producers, they figured it was a good idea. Let me calm their fears. We're going to have a Zoom meeting with Wendy, right? So they contact her manager at the time, Bernie Young. He sets up this Zoom meeting. He goes over to her home at 8 o'clock in the morning in Manhattan to help her prepare for this Zoom meeting. And my thing is, this is the Queen of Talk. Why do we have to help the Queen of Talk prepare for a Zoom meeting? Anyway, he goes over there to help her prepare. They kind of rehearse the lines over and over again, what she's going to say to the staffers when she gets on the Zoom meeting. The Zoom meeting wasn't until 10 a.m., somewhere between 8 and 10. All of the training got lost. She gets on the Zoom at 10 a.m. Some of the staffers are actually in the building in Chelsea where they filmed the show. Others Zoomed in themselves, but everybody there and some people that were there actually said the Zoom meeting was an epic fail. When she got on that meeting, they said she was incoherent. They said she was, repeating stuff over and over again, like, I'm fine, I'll see you in a few, I'll see you in a couple weeks. They said she made no sense, and the executive producers in the studio saw the fear on all the staffers' faces. They cut the Zoom meeting short. The Zoom meeting lasted about 2 to 3 minutes. They aborted the meeting, and that's when they pretty much decided that, look, Wendy's probably not coming back. This is going to be the last season because we're tired of telling all of the people that sponsor the show that Wendy's going to be here, not going to be here. So they knew at that point that they were ending what was known as the Wendy Williams show, right? So they had to go into, plan B and get all of these co-hosts to kind of fill in for the 13th season that was already paid for, that was already planned. So they go to try to find these co-hosts, which they said wasn't easy. Okay, a lot of people were just not interested in doing the Wendy Williams show as a host. Okay, in addition to that, they said prior to that, they had trouble booking people just to come on the show as a guest because so many celebrities could not stand Wendy Williams because she talked about them so bad. But they said Wendy Williams was rating gold because her people that loved her, because she is, they gave her flowers because they said she is iconic. She could just walk on that stage and do what she do, where other people, they would kind of have to figure out how to do it. So the reason why they ended up with Sherri Shepherd getting her own show and taking over that time slot, not over the Wendy Williams show, over that time slot, because they had over 16 guest co-hosts, or they had about 16 guest co-hosts. Out of all of those people, her ratings was number one. She's the one that pulled in the ratings for them, right? And they said in addition to that, way before any of this happened, that Sherri Shepherd people was in talks with Debmar Mercury to get her own show. The same as Leah Remini. She was in talks way before any of this with Debmar Mercury to get her own talk show. But it just so happened that when they did these, they used these co-hosting moments as sort of like auditions for all of them. And Sherri Shepherd, she won the audition because she pulled in the ratings. Now they do agree that it was kind of messed up how, they managed to usher Sherri Shepherd in. They said she got a lot of backlash, and she was another one. They called her to make a comment on this article, and she said she had no comment. But, they ushered her in a way where the fans felt like, it wasn't Sherri Shepherd just getting her own show. It was Sherri Shepherd taking over the Wendy Williams show. And they said that wasn't so. To the point where they said they were speaking and in talks with Wendy for a while, even while all of this co-host situation was going on. They said they was even in talks with Wendy Williams when she learned about Sherri Shepherd getting the show and getting that time slot. They pretty much, just how loyal they was to her, they pretty much told Wendy Williams that, come see us. If you're better, if you find, you can perhaps go on after Sherri Shepherd at 11 a.m. But they said, we got to see you. We can't be making deals with people and we don't even know you well. They're not going for that. We need to see you. And they said, every time they would speak to Wendy Williams, it was like deja vu. It was like they didn't speak to her previously because she was asking the same questions and they was repeating the same information to her over and over again. It's like she had brain fog, right? And then prior to that, they said they were sticking with her a long time because in 2017, when she did her iconic Halloween show and she had on that Statue of Liberty outfit and she passed out, right? And they said, she passed out and, she told her fans and everybody that pretty much she overheated and that's why she passed out. They said, well, unfortunately, that was not an isolated incident and her health mentally and physically kind of snowballed downhill after that. So they've been dealing with this for at least 4 years because that was in 2017. In addition to that, they said that at one point they paid. Now remember, her ex-husband, Kelvin Hunter, wanted to tell us that Debmar Mercury didn't care about Wendy Williams. They knew about her condition and wouldn't help her. They, pretty much in this article, they kind of debunked that situation by saying that, no, we paid for Wendy Williams to go to a high-end. So they put in there high-end, rehab center in Florida. So they was trying to help Wendy Williams out. But sometimes you can't help someone if they don't want to participate in their own sobriety and their own, get well program. Now, in addition to that, a lot of the staffers, and I'm going to read this piece to you, behind the scenes, they knew that there was problems with Wendy, right? So behind the scenes, inside, they say Wendy Williams was, she was declining. Everybody on that staff and crew witnessed all kinds of things, says one show source. According to two more, during the 4-year period that she was declining from 2017, producers were sent pre-show texts before they even taped the show. Producers were sent texts, to higher ups at the company questioning Williams' sobriety on at least 25 separate occasions. Those at top would then have to make an ultra quick judgment call on whether to go live at 10 a.m., which those sources say was typically complicated by the fact that Wendy Williams herself would insist she was fine. In some of those instances, the episode in question was the second taping of the day, which meant it wouldn't air until later on in the week, giving the execs time to rewatch the hour to see if Wendy's appeared, drunk. In all but one case, it was decided that she seemed fine enough and the episodes aired as planned. The exception occurred in the spring of 2021 where they couldn't air it. It was so bad, and a repeat ran in its place. One of these sources add that staffers would find bottles of alcohol up in ceiling tiles and other weird places in the office. Wendy Williams was in a bad state, everybody. And listen, at one time, when I kind of one of my subscribers, they kind of DM'd Kelvin Hunter, and he pretty much said that alcohol was the problem. Alcohol was the problem. Now, Wendy Williams was getting paid $6 million a season. Guys, that's not pennies, all right? In addition to that, like I said, they really tried to work with her, and they just want everybody to know, don't be mad at Sherri Shepherd, because they said pretty much if it wasn't Sherri Shepherd, someone else would have been in that 10 a.m. time slot. And they also said, I almost forgot this piece, that she was not invited to the final show because they knew that she was in no good condition or state to even zoom in to the final show. So they said they did the best they could by pulling together like this collab of everything that she did over the past 12 seasons. And everybody cried because, listen, they worked with Wendy. They love Wendy, but it had to come to an end. It's unfortunate that the end ended the way it did, but they had to do what they had to do for business reasons. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my throat got dry over time. So listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. I will say this. It's sad, but Debmar Mercury, they did what they had to do. Did they mess up on the way that they announced that Sherri Shepherd would be the new host? They absolutely did. Oh, also what they said about the final show was that they didn't, now this is messed up. They said they didn't invite Wendy because Also, because it would have been awkward because Sherry Shepherd was hosting the final show, and the way that the fans felt and was making kind of Sherry Shepherd felt like she was still in her show, it just wasn't going to work. It would have been a mess. But my thing is, well, Sherry Shepherd didn't have to host that final show. Y'all could have got someone else to host it, and maybe y'all could have just got Wendy on the Zoom to say a quick bye everybody, I love y'all, or how y'all doing, I don't know, something where it seems like Wendy Williams has a 60-second window in which she can make complete sense. So just have her zoom in and say bye. I don't know. But to be honest with you, even if y'all would have did that, I think people wouldn't have been happy. So y'all did what y'all had to do. Chat with me, guys, in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Do you understand better now that Debmar Mercury kind of gave their side of the story? That one, Wendy Williams was just going downhill. And also, let me add this. I keep remembering things I didn't add. They also said at one time period, she left New York, went down to be with her family in Florida. And they said at that period in time, she was no longer answering her cell phone. So it was like, you can't just abandon work, not answer your cell phone, and then expect to still have a job. I mean, come on, Wendy. So anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. I'm glad to hear them tell their side. Of course, you know, it's always three sides to a story, right? It's their side, it's the other person's side, and it's somewhere in the middle lies the truth. I get where Debmar Mercury is coming from. I do wholeheartedly believe 100% or at least in the 90 range of what they are saying. And the reason why is because I went to the Wendy Williams show a lot. And I was there in the beginning when she was all well. And I saw a couple of shows as she declined. And it was bad. It was bad. But thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. Chat with me in the comments. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And I'll see you on the next video.